Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Honest Take. Curtis here, and today I'm reviewing Season 9, Episode 11, The Walking Dead, titled Bounty, which was an incredible episode. I cannot wait to talk about this episode. It was jam-packed with so much good stuff. Let's get started. Spoiler warning. Like I said, I'm very excited to talk about this episode. The past two episodes really built up to this one, and this episode was non-stop with so much going on. First, I want to know, comment down below what you guys thought of this episode. I want to hear from you guys what you thought of Bounty. Just let me know down in the comments. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be going over my key moments, the points that really stuck out from this episode first. Then I'm going to talk about any flaws that I found in this episode in terms of story or just things that maybe aren't as believable. Then I'm going to give my rating on this episode, which it's going to be pretty good because this episode, in my opinion, was terrific. And then make sure you stick around for my scene that I picked that really kind of shook me and really kind of caught me off guard. So make sure you stick around for that. I want to see if that's the same scene that maybe you guys are thinking of when, you know, a scene that shook you guys comes to mind. Maybe we have the same one. So key moments. I mean, they really kind of try to touch our hearts right away with the Jesus flashback. When we see Jesus again, it's awesome. And gosh, I miss that guy. But we get to learn a little bit more about this whole charter thing and what's going on between the communities and what went wrong. We have a little more context, but we don't have the whole big picture here. It kind of sounds like Michonne was stubborn at some point and cut off her and Alexandria from the rest of the groups. We learned that Tara just dipped out on that and she wanted to actually help the Hilltop. And now she's pretty much the leader of the Hilltop, which is pretty cool. You have this whole arc of the kingdom folk going on their mission, and I thought that was really cool, and that's kind of like representing the hope, I think, for this fair. And Carol was doubting this whole fair thing and if it was really worth it to get the bulb, and it was kind of cool to see this little group on a mission from the kingdom with King Ezekiel and Jerry to go get this light bulb that would fix projectors so their community could watch cinema, could watch film. Jerry wanted his kids to see a movie. It was killing him. I think there's always this sense of hope at the kingdom. It even showed more in this scene, in this arc at the movie theater, that Ezekiel feels like it's in his power and his authority to really bring hope back to these communities, which is very cool. I loved it. And, you know, there were some tender moments between Carol and Ezekiel, which were cool, along with them taking the poster case down for the charter. And then the whole thing with the bulb thing, I'll get to that in a little bit, but something didn't seem as believable to me, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's cool for them to get all that done and get the bulb and have an awesome mission. There's some epic one-liners from Jerry this episode. I mean, maybe the most we've ever seen. Jerry had one-liners nonstop. And then the whole mix with the funky music, that was so cool. I loved that. The Hilltop is where it was freaking going down. I mean, Alpha shows up at the end of last episode. We have all this context now from the last two episodes. And boy, did it work, because it built so much tension for the situation, this negotiation between Alpha and the Hilltop, to the point where we knew that Henry was madly in love with Lydia. We knew that Daryl did not want to give up Lydia. Obviously, we knew Luke and Alden were missing and that the Whisperers probably had them. And it created for this insane situation where you have Daryl sitting there with the hard decision of, do I hold on to Lydia and make sure she's not abused by her crazy psycho mom? Or do I save our friends Luke and Alden, who are being held captive? Of course, Daryl does not want to give her up. And he kind of talks to Alpha and he sees the baby in the field and he's like, really? You guys brought baby out here? And he kind of just realizes this chick is crazy, and he kind of tries to tell her that no, it's not going to happen, or that like if they want to fight, like we have the firepower, so it's not even worth it, all this stuff. And she basically, like, you know, has the Whisperers bring up Luke and Alden and says, let's make a trade. Now they have to make a decision, and you know, at that point it's so tough, right? But it seems like everyone who's been a survivor for a long time, who's an adult, had the same thought process, that they had to save their friends versus saving this girl. Because it seems to be that, you know, family and friends come first, especially in this world. Right when they look for Lydia, of course she's gone. Henry took her and wanted to save her because he's the most naive, annoying character on this show right now. Then we have Addie and Enid that go after Henry because Addie knows he's probably at the secret hiding spot. They find Henry, you know, while this is going on, the freaking herd shows up, and then the Whisperer mom with the baby puts the baby down. Like, what the F? and like Alpha motions the gal to do it, and everyone's cool with it. And Alden and Luke have knives at their necks, and they're freaking out. Alden's about to like break out of his knife hold, but they put a freaking baby down. That's nuts. I mean, that just shows these people are crazy. It's like this whack cult. I mean, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Then we have, you know, Connie just bolting out of the cornfield to go get the baby. And not to mention she's, you know, things can be a little more tough because she can't hear what's going on. She can only see, right? And gosh, that was so intense and crazy. And then eventually they have to give up Lydia back to Alpha, and Alpha like punches her or smacks her in the face and says, "You call me Alpha, not Mom." And gosh, man, Alpha is nuts. Alpha is crazy. For me, this episode was near perfect. There are only a few flaws here or there, but they were very minor. Like, one thing I thought of was like the walker that popped out of nowhere in the movie theater and knocked the bulb out of Jerry's hand. Where did he come from? Were they not prepared for Walker? I mean, I get it happens, but maybe they haven't been out in the real world in a while. I don't know. My other thing was like the Whispers didn't try to stop Connie right away. They were kind of slow to go after her. I'm wondering if it's just because they're used to being sluggish like the walkers or what. Very minor stuff. I mean, nothing too big. On to my rating. This rating for this episode is way up there because it is jam-packed with action, intense tones, and there's just so much packed in this episode. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. Man, just such a great episode. And let's move on to the scene that really shook me and moved me. It was the whole scene, the cornfield with Connie. That was so cool. I mean, Luke was like giving her the signs, right? She was getting filled on what's going on, and she freaking took off after that baby in front of the Whispers. I was losing my mind. It was so freaky. And then we get this cool part right after that where we're in the cornfield and we have walkers popping on screen in the first person point of view, and we have the sound that's kind of muted in Connie's perspective. It's really cool. I thought that really added so much to that scene. And then to see Daryl come out of nowhere, that scene shook me so much. It was a great scene. What a great episode. Comment down below what you thought of this episode. Hit that like button if you're a big fan of Daryl Dixon. I know I am, especially after this episode. And subscribe for more Walking Dead content coming your way. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.